Hi everyone and welcome back to Inquisitive Thinking. I hope all of you are doing good. All of you are taking care of yourselves and whichever part of the world you are in, you are safe and healthy. 1st April 2020 को फर्स्ट वीडियो अपलोड की थी इनक्विजिटिव थिंकिंग यूट्यूब चैनल पे. इट मीन्स आज पूरा एक साल होता है एंड वी आर करंटली एट 306 सब्सक्राइबर्स. सो थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू. हमने ऑलमोस्ट 1/3 वे कंप्लीट कर लिया है चैनल को मोनेटाइज करने के लिए एंड टू बी ऑनेस्ट दिस इज़ द एम ऑफ दिस ईयर कि इनक्विजिटिव थिंकिंग को मोनेटाइज करना है. सो यू कैन हेल्प मी टू अचीव दैट गोल. खैर, this video is about word problems related to arithmetic progression, especially for class 10th or high school students. Arithmetic progression is one of my favorite topics, so I've used my experience about this topic, about teaching this topic, and I want to share it with you guys so that you can also get benefited from my experience. So what are we waiting for? Let's start. In the next 20 to 30 minutes, we are going to look at some cool ways of dealing with the word problems specifically related to arithmetic progression at high school level. We will start with basic introduction to the topic. If you want, you can skip the introduction, although it is recommended that you go through the intro just to familiarize yourself with the style of our following discussion. So here are the content of this video. First, we'll talk about the nth term of an AP. Then we'll talk about some of first n terms of an AP. And finally, we'll see how to deal with some common type of word problems. And here are the respective timestamps if you directly want to jump to these topics. First, we'll talk about nth term of an AP, or also known as general term of an AP. This list is called an arithmetic progression when the difference between any two consecutive terms, succeeding minus preceding, is a constant. So A1, A2, A3, A4, A11, so on, AN, these all constitute an arithmetic progression. The condition is the difference between any two consecutive terms in the format of succeeding minus preceding is a constant. Here A1 is the first term of the AP. We also denote it by simple small a. Small d is the common difference of the AP, which is A2 minus A1, that is second term minus first term, or third term minus second term, or an minus 1. N is the nth position in the AP. Now remember, n can be any natural number. An is the term at nth position, and which is given by this beautiful formula, a plus n minus 1 into d. Now a list of numbers can either be finite or infinite. Suppose an AP has a total m number of terms. Then AM is the last term of the AP. Now sometimes last term is denoted by small l. So here we have an AP. Here M is equal to 6, which denotes the total number of terms in the AP, and L, that is the last term, is denoted by A6. Now this is a classic example of a finite AP. Now let us see how we will read the terms of this AP. I have highlighted A1. A1 is the first term, or what I like to call the term sitting on the first position. Similarly, A2 is the second term, but I like to call it the term sitting on the second position. A5 is the fifth term, and we'll call it the term sitting on the fifth position. Similarly, the sixth term. The reason is quite simple. When we say the sixth term, our mind directly goes to A6. But when we say term sitting on the sixth position, here we get two information or two distinct datas. First, n equals 6 because we are talking about the sixth position, and then the term that is sitting on the sixth position, that is A6. So in this whole discussion, instead of saying the sixth term, we'll say the term sitting on the sixth position. The value of n corresponding to the last term of an AP tells the total number of terms in that AP. For an infinite AP, n does not have an upper limit, which means such an AP only has a first term but no last term. Let us look at the basic construct of an infinite AP. So here we have an infinite AP, A1, A2, so on, 880. an minus 1, an plus 1, and so on. It has no last term. Now A80 is the 80th term, but you know what we'll call it? The term sitting on the 80th position. Similarly, an is the nth term, but we'll call it term sitting on nth position. Now I understand that you might feel a little monotonous that I'm saying again and again term sitting on this position, term sitting on this position, but believe me, this practice is definitely going to help you in the future discussion. So here we have an AP. We have A1, A2, A3 and so on. This is plus D. This arrow indicates that if you add D in A1, you'll get A2. Similarly, if you'll add D to A2, you'll get A3. And if you add D to A3, you'll get A4. And you can understand. Here A1 is the first term, we'll replace it by A, and An is the nth term. Now just like I said, to get A2, you have to add D in A. So A2 is equal to A plus D. A3 is equal to, if you want to jump directly to A3 from A, you have to add 2 D's. So A3 equals A plus 2D. Similarly, if you want to jump from first term directly to fourth term, then A4 becomes equal to A plus 3D. Similarly, A11 becomes equal to A plus 10D. And you can understand why An is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D. Now this is not a formal derivation, but this is a fun activity to do. Alright, so in order to construct an AP, all we need are these two parameters. First term, that is A, and common difference, that is D. So the first term becomes A, second term becomes A plus D, third term becomes A plus 2D, then A plus 3D, and so on. The common difference of an AP, that is D, is fixed and can be one of the following. First, D can be greater than 0, that is positive. In this case, AP is said to be increasing. Second case, D is equal to 0. In this case, AP is said to be constant AP. And D can also be less than 0. That is, D can also be negative. In this case, we have a decreasing AP. Now if we look towards the increasing AP, that is when D is greater than 0, while plotting the terms on a number line, you will move towards positive infinity. Here we have plotted some imaginary terms on a number line. Look closely. Our first term is a negative term since it is on the left hand side of 0. So it does not matter whether your first term is positive or negative. If the common difference is greater than 0, your AP will always move towards positive infinity. Next, if we talk about a constant AP, you can understand what will happen. While plotting the terms on a number line, you will stay at one point, and all the points, all the terms will coincide on each other. In case of a decreasing AP, while plotting terms on a number line, you will move towards negative infinity. So here I have taken the first term as a positive term. Since common difference is less than 0, we are always moving towards negative infinity. So here we conclude the topic of nth term of an AP. Now we'll talk about sum of first n terms of an AP. Here we have sum of first 3 terms of an AP, A1 plus A2 plus A3. Total number of terms are 3. We can also write A1, A2, A3 like this. So if A1 is equal to A, and this AP has a common difference D, then A2 becomes A plus D, A3 becomes A plus 2D. Now on adding these, we'll have 3A plus 3D. Next, we'll add first 4 terms of the same AP. So after doing the same activity, we'll get 4A plus 6D. And now, in this case, we have total number of 6 terms and we are adding first 6 terms of the same AP. And the result is 6A plus 15D. So let's bring our result over here. Now we are going to do some mathematical manipulations. First, we'll multiply outside and divide inside the whole expression with the coefficient of A. And then we'll multiply inside and divide outside the modified expression by 2. Let us see what I am talking about. According to our first rule, we have to multiply and divide the whole expression with coefficient of a. So here coefficient of a is 3, here it is 4, here it is 6. Divide the whole expression by 3, put them in braces, and then multiply the whole expression by 3 itself, since 3 is the coefficient of a. Here, divide the whole expression by 4, put them in the braces, and then after that multiply the whole expression by 4. Similarly, divide the whole expression by 6, put them in braces, and then after that multiply the whole expression by 6. Now we have to multiply and divide the modified expression by 2. In this case you can see, so inside the braces we are multiplying by 2 and outside we are dividing by 2. Similarly in this and this. Finally we have something like this. And then finally, instead of writing 2, we write 3 minus 1. Instead of writing 3, we write 4 minus 1. Instead of writing 5, we write 6 minus 1. So 3 plus 3d, which is equal to 3 by 2 into 2a plus 3 minus 1 into d, was the sum of first 3 terms of an AP, also denoted by S3. S4 is the sum of first 4 terms of an AP. S6 is the sum of first 6 terms of an AP, which is 6 by 2 into 2a plus 6 minus 1 into d. And again, we have a very beautiful formula of sum of first n terms of an AP, which is given by Sn equals to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Now here we have an AP. In fact, we have a sum of first n terms of an AP. So we denote it by Sn. If we just look at these terms, excluding an, if we find the sum of first n minus 1 terms and denote it by Sn minus 1, then finally we are left with an. So according to this, Sn equals Sn minus 1 plus an. That is, sum of first n terms is equal to sum of first n minus 1 terms plus the nth term, or an equals Sn minus Sn minus 1. Now if L denotes the last term of the AP, then we'll substitute an with L, and finally we have L equals, that is last term, Sn minus Sn minus 1. So the sum of first n terms of an AP is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Instead of writing 2a, we can write a plus a, and then finally we can write Sn equals n by 2 into a plus L. So here we have concluded the sum of first n terms of an AP. I hope इस point तक आपका कुछ revision हुआ होगा. And now we are moving towards how to deal with some common problems related to arithmetic progression. So make sure that now you have your writing material, because with me you are going to solve 16 sample problems. Now I'll share some cool ways to deal with problems related to arithmetic progression. If you are ready, then let us start. While solving a problem, you either need to construct an AP or you don't. Here we will divide our problems based on these two possibilities. Problems in which there is a need to construct an AP, and then problems in which there is no need to construct an AP. So in this video, our problems are divided into these two categories, and then we have different methods to solve these different kinds of problems. Now before you start attempting a problem, ask yourself 3 questions. What is the given data? Or what are the known quantities? What to find? Or what are the unknowns? What to prove? What to show? And then finally, third question, what are the given conditions? As we have seen, in order to construct an AP, all we need are 2 things. First term, that is A, and then the common difference denoted by D. Once A and D are known to us, we can easily find any term sitting at any position. Now when we are talking about any position, we are talking about n, and when we are talking about any term sitting on any position, then we are talking about the nth term, that is an, that is sitting on the nth position. So here is our sample problem number 1. Find the sum of those integers from 20 to 80 which are multiples of 7. Now remember, boxes are your friends, so don't be afraid, don't be stingy to use them. कंजूसी मत करना बिल्कुल. First question, what is the given data? Range of integers is from 20 to 80, both inclusive. याद रखिएगा, for the phrase integers between 20 and 80, 20 and 80 exclude होगा इस लिस्ट से. अगर आपको बोला जाता है कि integers between 20 and 80, तो इसमें आप 20 और 80 नहीं काउंट करेंगे. Whereas अगर आपको बोला गया है from 20 to 80, then आप 20 and 80 भी इंक्लूड करेंगे. Alright, second question was what to find. So here we have to find the sum of AP formed. Third question is what is the given condition. So condition is all the terms of the AP are multiples of 7. So here I have a box in which I have written A and then an arrow which shows the common difference being added to the first term. Now in such problems, there is a rule or logic to find the first term. First integer from 20 to 80, which is a multiple of 7, is 21. So we'll update our list and put the first term equal to 21. At this point, D is still unknown. The second integer from 20 to 80, which is a multiple of 7, is 28. So we'll write 28 in the second box. You can simply see that D is equal to plus 7. Now the last integer from 20 to 80, which is a multiple of 7, is 77. So we'll put 77 at the last. So here the first term is 21, common difference is plus 7, and last term is 77. Here n is still missing. So we will use this beautiful formula, a plus n minus 1 into D. Here we already know that an, that is the last term, is 77, a and d are known. We can easily find the value of n. That comes out to be equal to 9. Alright, now we will use this formula, Sn equals n by 2 into a plus l. From here, our S9 comes out to be equal to 441. This is the final answer of our problem. Sample problem number 2. Find the sum of all the integers between 10 and 300 that leave 3 as a remainder when divided by 4. First question, what is the given data? Range of integers is between 10 and 300, both exclusive. Second question is what to find? Sum of the AP formed. Third question is what is the given condition? All the terms of the AP when divided by 4 leaves remainder equal to 3. So with these inputs, we'll start solving a problem. Again, rule or logic to find the first term. Division of the integer should leave 3 as a remainder when divided by 4. Now I hope that you are all aware of the Euclid's division algorithm or Euclid's division lemma. Here I have written A equals dq plus r. R is the remainder, that is equal to 3, and d is the divisor, that is equal to 4. Q is the quotient and A is the dividend, which is actually the first term of our AP. So let us substitute the values of R and D. So we have A equals 4Q plus 3. For Q equals 0 and 1, A equals 3 and 7 respectively. But the integers have to be between 10 and 300. So A equals 3 and 7 are not going to be in our list. For Q equals 2, A comes out to be equal to 11. So yes, this is in the range of our given data. So the first term becomes 11. Now for Q equals 3, A becomes 15. It means the second term in this list, which when divided by 4 leaves a remainder 3, is 15. So here we have a second term equal to 15. So far we have found the first term, the second term, and using a hit and trial method, we can find the last term. If we divide directly 299 by 4 and check the remainder, it's a happy coincidence that remainder is 3. So 299 is the last member of our list. So here the first term is 11, common difference is plus 4, and last term is 299. And using the formula of last term equals a plus n minus 1 into d, we can simply find the value of n. That will come out to be equal to 73. So, sum of first n terms, or sum of all the terms of this AP, which is actually S73, is equal to 11315. I hope you got this correct. A third sample problem is find the first positive term of the given AP. So here, this is our AP and we are supposed to find the first positive term of the given AP. Our first question is, what is the given data? So we are provided with the first term and the common difference. What to find? We need to find the first positive terms of the AP. And what is the given condition? You can simply judge that this AP is an increasing one, since common difference is greater than 0. Now before we move ahead, this question can also be asked in two different ways. Find the last negative term of the given AP, or check whether 0 belongs to this AP. So here, let us suppose that 0 belongs to this AP, which is sitting at nth position. This is not a fact. This is just an hypothesis. So first term, that is A, equals minus 41. Common difference, that is D, is equal to plus 2. And AN, that is the term that we have supposed is sitting on the nth position, is 0. So far, n is unknown. So using the formula of nth term of an AP, we can simply find the value of n, that is coming out to be equal to 21 1 by 2. Now n must be a natural number, which in this case is certainly not. So our hypothesis was incorrect. 0 does not belong to this AP. But our calculation was not in vain. We are still on the right track. Now suppose 0 is at this position, 21 1 by 2, which is certainly greater than 21. And you know that this AP is an increasing one. So on moving from left to right, you are moving towards the positive infinity. So if this is 0, then towards the right hand side, you will get all the positive terms, and towards the left hand side, you will get all the negative terms. Since 0 does not belong to this AP, but we can certainly say that there is a pair of two consecutive terms which, when plotted on number line, has 0 between them. So on the right hand side of 0, we'll get the first positive term, and on the left hand side, we'll get the last negative term. The last negative term, you can guess it by now. I think you've guessed it, is the 21st term of this AP, and the first positive term is the 22nd term of this AP. So term sitting at 21st position, that is A21, is equal to minus 1, which is the last negative term of this AP, whereas the term sitting on 22nd position is equal to 1, which is the first positive term of this AP. So from this AP, we can answer these three questions. First positive term of the given AP, plus 1. Last negative term of the given AP, minus 1. And check whether 0 belongs to this AP or not. So, no, it does not. Now let's look at sample problem number 4. Sum of first q terms of an AP is 63q minus 3q square. If its pth term is minus 60, find the value of p. Also, find the value of 11th term of this AP. First question, what is the given data? Pth term of an AP is minus 60. What to find? Value of p and 11th term. What is the given condition? Sum of first q terms is 63q minus 3q square. So here we have written our AP. Our boxes are ready. A1, A2, somewhere in between we have AP, and then we have AQ. SQ is given by 63q minus 3q square. So S1 equals to 60, which is nothing but the first term. S2 is 114, which is the sum of first two terms. So A1 plus A2 is equal to 114. From here we can find A2, which is equal to 54. So you can see A1 is 60, A2 is less than 60. Common difference is going to be negative, and in this case it is minus 6. So we have a first term 60, our common difference minus 6. The pth term, it's given in the question, is minus 60. So AP is equal to A plus P minus 1 into D. From here we can find the value of P. It is 21. Very good. Now we have to find the value of 11th term of this AP, which I believe is a very easy task. A11 is equal to 0. So I hope यहाँ तक आपको कोई भी क्वेश्चन समझने में प्रॉब्लम नहीं आई. हम 3 सवाल पूछ रहे हैं, 3 सवाल का जवाब देके क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करना स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं. सब में हमने बॉक्सेस इस्तेमाल किए हैं, हमने एरोज इस्तेमाल किए हैं, just to give a visual representation to our problem. Now we have sample problem number 5. The houses in a row are numbered consecutively from 1 to 49. Show that there exists a value of x such that sum of numbers of houses preceding the house numbered x is equal to the sum of numbers of houses following x. Now if you want to pause the video, go ahead, read the question, understand the question, and then after that we'll start solving it together. Our first question, what is the given data? Houses are numbered from 1 to 49. That is, the total number of houses is 49. What are we supposed to show? We are supposed to show that there exists a value of x such that the sum of numbers of houses preceding house numbered x is equal to the sum of number of houses following x. So suppose here we have our first house, our last house, and then we have a house somewhere in between at x position. Now it is only possible when x is the position of the middlemost house. Since the total number of houses are 49, the middlemost position of this progression is 25th position. How? 49 plus 1 by 2. So on the left hand side of this 25th house, we have houses numbered 1st to 24th. On the right hand side, we have houses numbered 26th to 49th. And the number of houses on both sides of this 25th house are equal. So let us introduce some more terms in our AP to make our AP a little bit more descriptive. Now, this forms the first AP, 1st to 24th. Here, let us suppose this AP has n terms. We can simply find the value of n, which is 24. Now, this forms the second AP. Let us suppose this AP has m terms. And coincidentally, m is also equal to 24. Well, this is not a coincidence. The house located on the 25th position is actually the middlemost house. As a result of which, we have equal number of houses on both sides of this house. So, there exists a value of x, that is x equal 25, for which there are 24 houses on each sides of 25th house. Let's move towards sample problem number 6. The student of a school decided to beautify the school on the annual day by fixing colorful flags on the straight passage of the school. They have 27 flags to be fixed at intervals of every 2 meters. The flags are stored at the position of the middlemost flag. Ruchi was given the responsibility of placing the flags. Ruchi kept her books where the flags were stored. She could carry only one flag at a time. How much distance did she cover in completing this job and returning back to collect her books? What is the maximum distance she traveled carrying a flag? If you want to pause the video, go ahead, understand the question, then we'll start solving it together. First question, what is the given data? What to find? And then finally, what are the given conditions? Now the given data, total flags are 27 and the distance between any two consecutive flags is 2 meters. What to find, or what are the unknowns? We do not know the position of the middlemost flag, total distance she has traveled to complete her job and return back to collect her books, and then we have to find the maximum distance she has traveled while carrying a flag. What are the given conditions? She can carry only one flag at a time. She has to complete her job and go back to collect her books. Now let us start solving it together. Now we know that we have total of 27 flags. The middlemost flag, which is the starting point for Ruchi, and her books are also kept here, is the 14th flag or the 14th position. Now this is the position of the middlemost flag. Again, 14 कैसे आया? 27 plus 1 by 2. Now, एक flag यहीं रहेगा. One flag will stay here. So this shows that we have 13 flags on the left hand side of this 14th flag and 13 flags on the right hand side of this 14th flag. Now, what will the terms of this AP indicate? They indicate the distance travelled while carrying a flag from the starting point to a particular position. Now this green arrow indicates the path when she is carrying a flag, and this blue arrow indicates the path where she is not carrying a flag. Now we can simply fill these boxes. To put the first flag on the right hand side of this 14th flag, she has to travel 2 meters. So 2 is written here. Now to place a flag over here, she has to travel 2 plus 2 meters. It means 4 meters. Similarly for the left hand side. So both of these sides are similar to each other. Right now we'll only focus on the right hand side. This has a total number of 13 terms. We'll call this box the first term of the AP, this the second term, and this the 13th term. Now the total distance back and forth covered to place all the flags on the right hand side of the starting point and then coming back to the starting point is equal to 2 times S13. Now can you write down in the comments according to your perspective, your own thinking, why did I write 2 over here? So 2 into S13, that is sum of first 13 terms of this AP, or simply sum of all the terms of this AP, which is equal to 182. So the total distance covered to place all the flags on the right hand side of the starting point and then coming back to the starting point is equal to 364 meters. Now, if we bring back the flags on the left hand side of this 14th position, now if we talk about the total distance she covered to complete the job, that is to place all the 26 flags on each side of the 14th flag, वो होगा 2 into 364. Now what was 364? Correct. So the total distance covered to complete the job is equal to 728 meters. Now remember, she has to come back to the original position, to the starting position, to collect her books. So this distance also include that journey. So the total distance covered by Ruchi to place all 26 flags, since one flag will remain at the starting position, and coming back to collect her books is 728 meters. Next part of the question was the maximum distance Ruchi has to travel while holding a flag in hand is equal to A13. That is either one of the flags at the extreme ends, this one or this one. So here A13 is equal to 26 meters. Now remember, return journey won't count since she is not holding any flag during that time. Now I hope that you also got this one correct. If not, then go back and watch the solution again. Now we are heading towards our 7th problem. An AP consists of 37 terms. The sum of first 3 middlemost terms is 225 and the sum of last 3 terms is 429. Find the AP. First question is, what is the given data? What to find? And what are the given conditions? So the given data is that the AP has 37 terms, that is n equals 37. What to find? We need to find the AP itself. And what are the given conditions? Sum of 3 middlemost terms is 225 and sum of last 3 terms is 429. We got our boxes ready. A is the first term, D is the common difference, and A37 is the 37th term. Now, the middlemost term is the 19th term. Three middlemost terms are 18th, 19th and 20th terms. And the last three terms are 35th, 36th and 37th terms. Now, sum of three middlemost terms is equal to 225 and the sum of last three terms is 429. We can write A18 plus A19 plus A20 equals 225 and A35 plus A36 plus A37 equals 429. So using the formula of nth term of an AP for all these six expressions, we get two equations. 3a plus 54d equals 225 and 3a plus 105d equals 429. From these two equations, we can simply find the value of a and d. A comes out to be equal to 3 and d comes out to be equal to 4. And finally, we have our AP. First term is 3, common difference 4. Second term is 7, then 11, and then so on. Now the next problem is going to be an interesting one. A thief runs with a uniform speed of 100 meters per minute. After 1 minute, a policeman runs after the thief to catch him. He goes with a speed of 100 meters per minute in the first minute and increases his speed by 10 meters per minute every succeeding minute. After how many minutes the policeman will catch the thief? Too many minutes in this question. Pause the video, read the question again, and then we'll start solving it together. What is the given data? What to find? And what are the given conditions? Now, if you feel monotonous that why am I repeating the same questions again and again, it's just to make you familiarize that you also need to do the same in order to get the most information out of the question. So what is the given data? Speed of thief is 100 meters per minute. Speed of policeman is 100 meters per minute in first minute. What to find? After how many minutes policeman will catch the thief? What are the given conditions? Policeman runs after the thief to catch him after 1 minute. Policeman increases his speed by 10 meters per minute every succeeding minute. Now see, while answering these three questions, I have just taken the phrases out of the question without interpreting them. Now this is a problem of speed, time, distance. What will the terms of the AP indicate? Again, a very basic question, but an important one. Speed or time or distance. Now there's a hint for you. A is the first term, D is the common difference, but these quantities have to be the same physical quantities, since you cannot add unlike quantities. So here, this green line represents the thief. This is the point in time where thief started running. This is the point in time where the policeman started running. And this is the point in time where policeman catches the thief. Now remember, there is a gap of 1 minute between the point in time where thief started running and the point in time when policeman started running. So we can say that time it took thief to get caught after thief started running is equal to time it took policeman to catch the thief after policeman started running plus 1 minute. So we have established this much. Now we are moving towards our second piece of information. This is the total distance traveled by thief before he got caught, and this is the total distance traveled by the policeman before he catches the thief. This is a typo error, please ignore it. Now the total distance traveled by thief before he got caught is equal to the total distance traveled by the policeman before he catches the thief. So far we have established two important informations from the question. So we have our AP A1, A2 and so on. Here A1 is the distance covered by thief at the end of first minute. A2 is the distance covered by thief at the end of second minute. Here thief's acceleration is 0 meters per minute square. Now B1, B2 and so on. Here B1 indicates the distance covered by the policeman at the end of first minute. B2 indicates the distance covered by a policeman at the end of second minute. And policeman's acceleration is equal to 10 meters per minute square. Now let total number of terms be n. That is, thief will get caught in n seconds after started running. And here let the total number of terms be m. That is, policeman will catch thief in m seconds after policeman started running. Now, since we know this is the time taken by thief and this is the time taken by policeman, so n is equal to m plus 1. Again, first term is 100 for both of these APs, since in the first minute both of them are covering 100 meters. Since thief is not accelerating, he will cover the same distance at the end of every minute, that is d is equal to 0. And policeman is accelerating he will cover 10 meters more at the end of every succeeding minute, that is d is equal to 10. So we can write some initial terms of this AP, 100, 100, 100. This is a constant AP when it comes to thief, and this is an increasing AP when it comes to policeman. Next we need to find the sum of first n terms of this AP, and here we have to find the sum of first m terms of this AP. So Sn will indicate the total distance traveled by the thief and Sm indicates the total distance traveled by the policeman. Now remember, Sn is equal to Sm. So ultimately our question boils down to these two information. Sn equals to Sm and n equals to m plus 1. After substituting the values of known quantities in the formulae, we'll have a quadratic equation either in n or m. We'll solve the quadratic equation. We'll ignore any inadmissible value, that is negative value of m or n, since m or n indicates time, so it cannot be a negative value. The final answer is n equals 6 and m equals 5. So the final answer is n equals 6 and m equals 5. After 5 minutes of running, policeman will catch the thief. Now when we are talking about this 5 minutes, we are talking about policeman. The policeman will catch the thief when the policeman runs for 5 minutes. Now let us check our answer. For thief, the value of n was equal to 6. So we had 6 terms in this AP and every term was the same, that is 100. So sum of all these terms is equal to 600. Whereas for the AP belonging to policeman, m was equal to 5. So we have 5 terms in this AP. So we have 5 terms in this AP, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. And sum of all these 5 terms is equal to 600 also. So again, we have cross-checked our answer and this is our final result. Now you see how easy it becomes to solve a question, to solve a word problem, to solve a problem when you convert the given data or when you visually represent the question. With all these visualizations and illustrations, you can do these things in a notebook. You don't need a laptop or any digital device to draw all these things, just for the reference basis. Now when you are able to see your question rather than reading it, obviously first of all you have to read the question, but then after that you have to convert the textual information to a visual information using some basic illustrations. You can see how easy it becomes to understand the problem, and since now you can see the problem, you will not get stray away. आप भटकोगे नहीं अपने solution तक पहुंचने के लिए. So try करो ऐसे तरीके. Try these type of methods while solving a problem. Convert the problem into, or I can say, try to visually represent your problem on the piece of paper. So we have done 8 sample problems for those types of problems in which there is a need to construct an AP. Now we'll talk about the problems in which there is no need to construct an AP. according to the current discussion. We are not saying that you have to do this thing in this particular way. But yes, now we are talking about those problems in which you don't need to construct an AP. In problems like these, we will use a different approach. Sample problem number 9. Determine the AP whose 5th term is 19 and the difference of 8th term from the 13th term is 20. What we are going to do is, we are going to convert the given data, or we are going to decode the question step by step. For that, we need a vertical line to divide the space. Now, 5th term is 19. So A5 is equal to 19. Difference of, now मैंने इसको हाईलाइट क्यों किया? इसका रीज़न है, ये पर्टिकुलर वर्ड्स हमको एक मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन के बारे में बता रहे हैं, दैट इज सब्ट्रैक्शन. सो द डिफरेंस ऑफ 8th term from 13th term is 20. It means A13 minus A8 is equal to 20. If you look on the left hand side of this vertical line, हमने exactly वही words उठाए हैं क्वेश्चन से जो कि क्वेश्चन में हैं. हमने किसी भी टर्म को, किसी भी वर्ड को इंटरप्रेट नहीं किया, हमने एज इट इज़ वो वर्ड्स उठाए, बट केवल वही वर्ड्स जिससे हमको एक इंपॉर्टेंट पीस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन मिले. लाइक 5th term means A5 is, that is most of the cases, equal to 8th term from 18th term. So we are talking about A8 and A13. Now finally we have to determine the AP. It means we have to find A and D. So from this piece of information we can write A plus 4D equals 19, and this piece of information we can write A plus 12D minus A plus 7D equals 20. So here we have our two equations in two variables. 5D equals 20, D equals 4, and A equals 3. So the resulting AP is 3, 7, 11, 15 and so on. Sample problem number 10. If the 9th term of the AP is 0, prove that its 29th term is twice its 19th term. So first we'll draw a vertical line, and then 9th term. Now I'm directly putting A9 in front of 9th term. 9th term is 0. To prove that we have, shows that we have to prove something. 29th term is twice of 19th term. Now twice of is also indicating a mathematical operation, that is whatever is after of, 2 is being multiplied to it. So after of we have 19th term, that is A19. So 2 is being multiplied to A19. So we only have this information. A plus 8D equals 0, or A equals minus 8D. A29 is equal to A plus 28D. After substituting the value of A, we can write A29 equals 20D. Similarly, we can find the value of A19 after substituting the value of A. And A19 comes out to be equal to 10D. You can see A19 is twice of 10D, and 10D is actually A19. So A29 is twice of A19, जो कि वही चीज़ है जो हमने प्रूव करनी है. Hence proved. Now we are moving towards 11th sample problem. If the sum of 3rd and the 8th terms of the AP is 7 and the sum of 7th and 14th terms is minus 3, find the 10th term. Again we'll draw a vertical line. Sum of 3rd and 8th term is 7. Sum of 7th and 14th terms is minus 3. Find the 10th term. It means we need to find A10. We have these two important pieces of information. From these two, we can construct two equations in two variables. So we have 2A plus 9D equals 7, 2A plus 19D equals minus 3. From these two equations, we can simply find the value of A and D. So A is equal to 8, D is equal to minus 1, and A10 is equal to A plus 9D. Substitute the values of A and D. We have 8 n equals -1. Now before हम लोग 12th प्रॉब्लम पे जाएं, अगर आपको अभी तक ये डिस्कशन ये मेथड्स पसंद आ रहे हैं, सो प्लीज़ गो अहेड एंड लाइक द वीडियो. काफ़ी मेहनत लगती है वीडियोस बनाने में एंड मेरा काफ़ी टाइम भी लगता है इसमें, एंड आई डू दिस थिंग्स जस्ट आउट ऑफ शेयर कंपैशन एंड जॉय. मुझे बहुत मज़ा आता है ये सब काम करने में, आपके लिए वीडियोस बनाने में, आपके लिए कंटेंट क्रिएट करने में, स्पेशली मैथमेटिक्स का. सो वट एवर आई एम पुटिंग आउट, इट्स फॉर यू गाइज. मुझे बस आपका सपोर्ट चाहिए. सो प्लीज़ गो अहेड, लाइक द वीडियो. अगर आपको लगता है आपके दोस्तों को फ़ायदा हो सकता है इन सब वीडियो से या इस पर्टिकुलर वीडियो से, सो प्लीज़ अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए एंड हेल्प दिस चैनल ग्रो. So let's move towards our 12th problem. Sum of the first two n terms of an AP whose first term is 8 and common difference is 20 is equal to the sum of first two n terms of another AP whose first term is -30 and common difference is 8. Find n. Again, pause the video, read the question, try to solve it using the methods that we have just discussed, एंड देन उसके बाद आप मेरे साथ सॉल्यूशन देखिए. सो फर्स्ट हम एक वर्टिकल लाइन बनाएंगे. सम ऑफ फर्स्ट n टर्म्स ऑफ एन AP, Sn equals n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Now, first term is 8, common difference is 20. That specifically belongs to this particular AP. So here a is 8 and d is 20. Sum of first n terms of an AP is equal to sum of first two n terms of another AP. Here B is the first term, that is -30, and capital D is the common difference, that is 8. So now what you need to do, just need to substitute the values of A small d, B capital D, and then equate these two expressions. Now you have to find n. Now I believe you know what to do next. You have to substitute the values of known quantities and then equate these two expressions. After equating these two expressions and then substituting the values of known quantities, you can simply find the value of n. That will come out to be equal to 11. Very good. Now we are moving towards our 13th problem. The ratio of 11th term to the 18th term of an AP is 2:3. Find the ratio of 5th term to the 21st term. And also the ratio of the sum of first 5 terms to the sum of first 21 terms. Now you see, मैं क्वेश्चन को ब्रेक करके पढ़ रहा हूँ, बोलते हुए भी ब्रेक दे रहा हूँ, rather than एक सिंगल सांस में पढ़ने के. Again, we'll draw a vertical line. Then after that, we'll start decoding the question. Ratio of 11th term to 18th term, that is A11 is to A18, is 2:3. Find the ratio of 5th term to 21st term, that is we need to find A5 is to A21, and the sum of first 5 terms to sum of first 21 terms, that is S5 is to S21. So here, with our given piece of information, we have A11 upon A18 equals A plus 10D upon A plus 17D. This is equal to 2 upon 3. Now you know what to do. Simply cross multiply and you'll have this expression, this relation, A equals 4D. Now you need to find A5 upon A21. That is A plus 4D upon A plus 20D. After substituting the value of A, you can write 4D plus 4D upon 4D plus 20D, and this simplifies to 1 upon 3. Similarly, for S5 upon S21, you use the formula and after that substitute the value of A, and finally you have S5 upon S21 equals 5 upon 49. So these are your final results that you are supposed to find. Sample problem number 14. 8th term of an AP is half of its second term and 11th term exceeds 1/3 of its fourth term by 1. Find the 15th term. Again, pause the video, read the question again, try to solve it on your own using these methods, and then after that, we'll see my solution. First, you need to draw a line, vertical line, and then start decoding the question. 8th term, that is A8, is half of second term. Now, 11th term exceeds. Now, why am I writing equals when it is written exceeds? We'll see it in a moment. 11th term exceeds 1/3 of fourth term by 1. So A11 equals 1 by 3 into A4 or A4 upon 3 plus 1. Now, if you want to understand this particular section of information, मैं आपको एडवाइस करता हूँ, प्लीज़ अपने दिमाग से बाय 1 अभी आप निकाल दीजिए बाहर and just read these 4 lines. 11th term exceeds 1/3 of fourth term. यहाँ से आप कह सकते हैं कि A11 is greater than 1 by 3 of A4. The expression on the right hand side is smaller than the expression or simply the term on the left hand side. So आपको right hand side में कुछ add करना पड़ेगा. So now the right hand side is equal to the left hand side. तो वो क्या चीज़ है जो आपको add करनी पड़ेगी? Yes, that is 1. So you need to add plus 1 on the right hand side since the right hand side वाला expression is छोटा than the left hand side वाला expression. और A11 exceeds 1/3 of fourth term. Now when you read by 1, then you simply need to add plus 1 and then the inequality sign goes away and equal signs comes into play. And finally you need to find the 15th term. तो A15 आपको निकालना है. Again you have A8 upon A2 equals 1 by 2. आपको यहाँ से एक इक्वेशन मिलती है and then finally आप ये piece of information इस्तेमाल करते हो, यहाँ से आपको एक और इक्वेशन मिलती है. इन दोनों इक्वेशंस को आप सॉल्व करोगे which is nothing but a pair of linear equations in two variables. यहाँ से आपको A and D की वैल्यूज मिलती हैं. A equals -13 and D equals +1. Now we have first term common difference. Calculate the 15th term and then write it in the comment section. I'll be waiting for your responses in the comment section. Now we are moving towards the second last problem of this video. The 24th term of an AP is twice its 10th term. Show that its 72nd term is 4 times than its 15th term. Now draw a vertical line. 24th term is twice of its 10th term. You need to show that 72nd terms is 4 times its 15th term. Now from this piece of information you can write A plus 23D equals twice A plus 9D. From here we have an equation A equals 5D. Now A72 is equal to 76D. How? You just need to substitute the value of A and then find this A72 in terms of D. Similarly, find A15 in terms of D. Now you see that when you multiply 4 to A15, that is 19D into 4, you will get 76D. And 76D is nothing but 72nd term of this AP. Therefore, 72nd term of this AP is equal to 4 times the 15th term of this AP. So last question. Sum of the first 7 terms of an AP is 182 if its 4th and 17th term are in ratio 1:5. Find the AP. Now I seriously hope कि हम जिस तरीके से questions attempt कर रहे हैं, आप इस question को उस तरीके से attempt करके उसका आंसर find कर सकते हैं. Let's start. Again, we'll draw a vertical line. Sum of first 7 terms is 182. The ratio of 4th term to 17th term is 1:5. Find the AP. Again, we need to find A and D. S7 is equal to 7 by 2 into 2A plus 60, which is equal to 182. This is the given piece of information. So here A plus 3D equals 26 after simplifying this expression, this equation. Now the ratio of 4th to 17th term is 1:5, or A4 upon A17 equals 1 upon 5. After you cross multiply, you will get a very simple equation, 4A equals D. Now we'll place these two equations side by side, and then after that solve for A and D. So A is equal to 2 and D is equal to 8. So our resulting AP is 2, 10, 18, 26 and so on. So guys, thank you very much for watching the video. If you like the video, you know what to do. Share it with your friends. Like the video. इस चैनल के ऊपर और बहुत सारी मैंने कंटेंट क्रिएट किए हैं स्पेशली आप लोगों के लिए. सो गो अहेड, बहुत क्वालिटी कंटेंट है. अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए and help me grow on this community so that I can help more and more students like you, and this will also keep me motivated. Alright, so I'll meet you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay inquisitive.